Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have my friend, writer, poetry, amazing poet. What poetry? What the fuck did I say?
Hey, you know what? It's all in the same bucket. So
Poet, Shawntaya, thanks for coming to the podcast today.
thank you for having me. Kind
So,
sir.
oh wait, artist also. Fuck, how could I forget this?
We're working on the artist, but yes, creative alien, whatever you want to.
So, yeah, words. Like, why are words important to you?
The impact you can have on people with them. Same thing with you and DJing. It's like it's about making people feel, and I feel like when you're a creative person, that's like your goal. You're kind of tuned in with the times and what's going on, and so within that, it's important that we keep the voices and the feelings alive. You know, it's easy to become numb so much now. So like, yeah, whatever way we can connect souls and energy with people, I think is important. And words do the same thing. So,
Man, you tell me about it. So when did you start writing?
I think it was in my single digits, if I can remember of age, y'all. I'm old. I was born in the 1900s. Around 8 or 9, I started writing poetry. I had one of those old school diaries with the little lock and key on it.
Oh my God! Ah,
And that's where I started writing. So it was definitely chaotic at the time. I was writing about my life and what was going on, and just like purely just expression. It wasn't so much rhyming or haikus or anything like that, but that's kind of where I found my love for it. And then I separated from it for years, and then I came back to it as I got older. And
Okay.
yeah.
So what did you love about it then? Why did you leave it? And why did you come back?
Initially, it was a really good way for me to express myself. To any other fellow internal processors out there, as a kid, it was I was very quiet and I didn't really say too much. So for me, that was kind of how I got that out, and it was helpful in ways that maybe I didn't realize at the time. Because you still need to get that out of your body in whatever way you can. Some people rebel and do whatever, or they do drugs or whatever it's up your alley. But for me, it was writing at the time. And honestly, just a lot of life happened. I feel like sometimes as creative people, life happens and that kind of becomes our creative block. So we step away from it, and then you don't even realize, and then you feel so disconnected from yourself. Then you come back around and you're like, oh, I really missed this thing. And so coming back into it, I would say in my 20s was eye-opening, because there was a lot more things I was aware of now that I had a lot more language for stuff. So I was like, oh, I have a whole vocabulary of things I could put on the page. And then I had a couple instances where I got to share pieces in my late 20s, and then Sasha started holding the open mic and doing it at her events, and that was a really good way to be forced to be consistent with it. And it challenged me to challenge myself and elevate my writing in any way that I could. So, yeah.
Okay. You know, I find you said I'm old, Joel, but I gotta say, one thing I find, no, really, no, I needed to say this.
I'm 82 in my spirit.
One thing I find is that's actually a fucking superpower, right? And what could be, this is my logic, right? As a kid, you see all these people, oh, they're so old, so boring and stuff. And you don't want to be that, right? But then time happens to everybody. And then you get there and you realize that you have all these memories and experiences, and the things you write now versus the things you wrote then is like night and day, right? So there are some things that just won't land the same way, but now it's like, holy shit, I get it now. So I think growing old is just a fucking superpower, because like you kind of see things in a different lens, and you are not as fazed by stuff. You know, it's like, oh fuck, I'm not
gonna have a meltdown today. It's an accomplishment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just find being as a creative person, it makes you better because you have so much practice done over that time. So like maybe it would take you, I don't know, 2, 3 days to write a poem earlier. Now it's like you wrote that in 2 minutes, or whatever. Like, cause I remember one of the things you were like, you just wrote it while people were on the open mic, and it was fucking dope. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, that's my rant about growing old, or that's me
rants, though.
just.
We love rants. We love rants. When you're a yapper and you love to talk, like being ranting and then having that exchange back, it's dope to be met there. So
No, really, really, really. So I think it's like you have all this experience and you have like this bucket of things to scoop from versus, and someone was making a comment that you've never seen a funny kid, like a comedian as a kid, because most jokes are kind of like life experiences. So you actually have to go through life to get to a certain age, and then you're like, oh, I have stuff to tap in. And I think that's also why you never see a really good poet as a kid. Like, the rhyme skill is good, and the word is great.
But you got to go through
it's,
something.
It's not impactful.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah.
But when someone has seen stuff and like, he's oh shit, like, okay, last round.
Have as many rants as you want. You're good.
Jill Scott, amazing singer. She just came out with a new album. You should check it out. But do you know she was a poet before?
Yep.
Yeah. And like, her poetry was obviously, she was pissed off at someone, but she had to experience that. And I just feel like, who's going to break your heart as a kid? Like, you'll be sad, like, oh, versus when you're like in your 20s or so, and like, you feel it more. And when you write that shit, it's like,
every emotion is in it. And why I say I'm old, y'all, is because if any of you guys have watched Def Jam, like comedy, I used to watch Def Jam poetry, and that for me was where you got to see a lot of vocal artists or rappers and whoever that they did poetry prior to being artists, right? Which
I mean,
really
he's
cool.
a mess right now, but did you see Kanye West
Yes.
one? Oh, kid, man.
He is a mess.
No, I mean, I just...
No, I agree. He's a very... he's an acquired taste.
Yeah, like right now he's just going through a lot. He's going through a lot, and I hope he gets the help he needs. But you can't deny the talent, though. And his Def Jam poetry was whoa.
Yeah,
it was him and Commons one was like, okay. Anyway, rant done.
But it leads you to what you're saying about like you have to go through. You have to experience things in life to really be able to tap into that emotion. And that's what I was just saying to somebody recently about like, depending on certain things that I'm talking about, it's a debate on whether I want to go there emotionally, because that's where it takes me when I'm reading something. And so I have to debate what bag I actually want to be in. If I'm like, I'm not okay with that right now, or I'm not, over it enough, or I haven't processed it enough to really share it with people. So there's that happens with when you're a writer too. You're constantly back and forth about what pieces of my soul do I give to people, and what do I got to keep for myself.
How do you make that decision though, or what are the things you factor in when it comes to making those decisions?
I think it's more just to do with how I'm feeling about it. Like for me, I understand a lot of things can probably be very relatable, but just because it's relatable doesn't mean that I want to trauma bond with everybody all the time. Right. So
right.
I'm like, do I want to write about love today, or write about peace, or write about something that's maybe not so easily, like I've been able to write about traumatic experiences easily because of things that I've experienced and seen happen and all that. But it's like, I also don't want to stay in that bucket. I feel like it's also your responsibility as an artist to try to evolve. You hear it with singers all the time. They have albums and you hear the progression in each album drop, or some of them rap about the same thing for 5 albums, and it's like, okay, you're still, you're still on that energy. You're heartbroken for 5 albums. I think Drake was a very perfect example of that. That man has rapped about everybody breaking his heart, and him breaking people's hearts, and at the clubs, and it's like, okay, you felt that way for some years, sir. You cool. But when do we grow past those experiences and say, hey, you know what, that was that season in my life, and now I'm ready for whatever this next stage is. Because I think, whatever comes in the next season, creatively, it will be such a transformative, impactful experience that it could end up healing you in ways you didn't even know. Like forcing yourself maybe to write about something you wouldn't usually takes you out of your comfort zone, and then you might be able to just tap into stuff you didn't because you would have stayed complacent in an area that was comfortable for you to share with people. So
Okay. And then, do you still write like pen and paper or how do
Yeah.
man, I'm sorry, I wonder what your handwriting looks like because sometimes I can't read my handwriting, so I just type everything out or put it on my phone.
depends on the emotion. Like if I'm writing and it is, I'm like in the emotion like that, it could come out like chicken scratch. And so I might be the only one able to read it. And
Right.
like, good thing there's apps that can actually like kind of help decode the writing if you need it. But I love that feeling of pen to paper. I get it. It's really a correlation to people who really, I'm also a music person, but when you listen to like a record, it's different than when you're like listening to a CD or even, through like Spotify or something. It's a different experience. And I think writing pen to paper is like the physical words actually come to me more easily when I'm doing it, and it feels like a flow. It's like a flow state kind of happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like I will write on paper and then translate it to my phone and then type it in there because it's just obviously sometimes having a notebook is
Yeah,
like, no,
no, yeah. I
but
know a lot of people that do that. I'm like, how do you, man?
it feels great. I don't even know how to like really break it down so that somebody can understand, but like the tangible aspect of art is like, oh man, I don't know. Like you must feel it as a DJ when you're like mixing stuff. It's like, sure there's apps out there that you could click this and click that and let it go into the next song, but I'm sure actually touching the devices and making things shift and sound different, it does something for you.
I agree. But okay, no, not that. Okay, so we're taking my brain jump in real time. Okay, with writing, how I guess like what are some things that inspire you to write?
Life, the human experience for sure. I feel like just being human, man, we are, and I keep saying this, we are literally all doing this shit for the first time on this rock together. No matter how old we are, this is our first experience on here together. And so within that, it really encompasses so much that I think a lot of times in like today's society, at least people try to always like label or compartmentalize and just keep it over there. And it's like, nah, like all of the stuff is part of who we are. The sadness, the happiness, the grief, the love, all of it is really just in an everyday experience for us. It's not feel it today and then feel this tomorrow. It's who we are. And I think without that experience, we wouldn't be human. So that's the inspiration. It's just us being us. And if I can make somebody feel from what I'm sharing, then I feel like I've done my job.
And how do you know, like, obviously, when you're a creative person, you get all the fucking, it's just coming at you. How do you know this is the thread I should pull? Like, this is the one I should focus on versus the other one?
Something else?
Yeah.
I think writing pen to paper, like I was saying, you kind of feel it. So sometimes I'll literally go through a couple of pages and I'll write lines and I'm like, this isn't coming to me like that, or let's just scrap this. I don't like how this looks. I don't like how it sounds. It's not really, because there's times where I've maybe attached to an emotion about something or a thought on something I want to write and realize it was just like a temporary moment. I was like, well, that came to my mind, but that's not actually what I want to write about. And so that's almost where I was saying about having to grow as an artist and shift what you're writing about. It's like, ooh, I've written about this so much, but you know what? I actually don't want to do that. I would like to continue with this other piece maybe that I've started, because I have lots of poems that I've started and never finished. I feel like that's the life of an artist. You just got a lot of half-painted shit or written shit or whatever going on, and it's like, oh damn, when am I gonna go back to this? Never.
Talking about that, how do you know when the piece is done?
Great question. I don't have a definitive answer for that. I think when I read it myself and go, that's a good endpoint, that's for me. Sometimes I like to end things with a bang, and other times I like to have a soft landing to the ending. So it depends on what vibe I'm kind of going for and how I read it to people. So.
And what's the longest you've had to write something from beginning to end?
I had to do a poem that was like 4 minutes, 5 minutes long, which it may not seem hard, y'all. It is difficult to try to remember most of it and not be, because, you know, writing is like, you don't want to have your face here, but like sometimes that happens. So it actually is difficult to write for that long, but it was something I was performing. So it was, yeah, that was the required time.
What was it called?
Do I remember the name? I don't remember the name, but I remember it had to do with, more specifically, it was about being Black in corporate spaces and environments. That I do remember.
Okay, talking about that, how do you come up with your titles?
Oh boy, you're gonna love this one, guys. I don't actually usually name my poems, or I haven't since I've come back into it.
What do you, you just write? No?
Sometimes I feel like they used to come to me very easily, but now I just write. And sometimes I'm like, if I feel that there's one that suits it, cool. But I'm like, I don't really, I just let it. That's my thing. And people are literally like, you should name them. And I was like, I should, but I don't. And I don't know, it's just become a way of writing for me recently. So maybe that'll change. I don't know, y'all, but.
God damn. Okay. And then what is the longest time it's taken for you to finish something from the first time you wrote it till, oh, now it's done?
Oh, I'd say maybe a couple of months.
Holy shit.
Maybe even longer, actually. And I think it was because I started writing something before my daughter was born. And then after she was born, like, it just got put on hold for obvious reasons. So it was like, pause. And then I came back to it when I felt I had a little bit more mental space to do it.
So, motherhood, like, how did that change or influence, your writing in general?
I was just sharing this whole reel with this woman talking about like the change that happens when you're a mother, but you're a creative person at the same time. And I really related to what she was saying, because it's like you worry about losing your creativity, you worry about having the time and space to really do it. Oh man, I'll be really grateful when I get to a space that motherhood really inspires my pieces. I'm not there yet. I still, a lot of life is inspiring it, but I think that'll be a really dope transition. But I'm finding pockets of still to show up as myself within that, you know what I mean? So it's having the space from being a mother to actually do that, which is the funny thing. So it's like, it's still intertwined, but it's still a little bit separate, because this creative, the art part of me has existed long before my daughter was here. And I can intertwine them, but I don't want to overlap them so much that I'm then losing the parts of me that I love. Because for that, I go, well, what is she looking up to then? Like, you know, people invest in their kids, and if that is your life, there's no qualms about that. But for me, I am still my own person and a mother, and so it's just like, I got to make everything try to still fit cohesively. That I feel like I'm still being seen as me within that. So.
Okay. We'll come back to the poetry part. Let's talk about art. I know you say you don't paint and shit, but you dabble.
Hey, dabble. I like dabble.
So how did you get into it, and what do you love about doing it, using this as a different way to express yourself?
So I actually started drawing and stuff when I was also in single digits and younger than 9. I was, oh man, maybe like 6 or 7 that I remember that I started drawing. And then as I got a little bit older, around like 9 and 10 and stuff like that, I was heavy into anime, and any of my fellow anime folks out there. That really became an inspiration for drawing, because I was often trying to draw the characters that I was seeing in the shows that I was seeing. And so then I was gifted a sketchbook and some charcoal pencils, and I went to town. I had so much fun doing that. And a website that was open way back when, which I don't know, still around, DeviantArt. for any of y'all who know that website, that was a place that you could also share your art. So I had my own little site on there. I used to share it on there. I used to do ones on paint.net, like that app from wherever, miles, hundreds of years ago. I was drawing stuff on there and also sharing it. So really, I would say anime is kind of what kept me drawing and inspired by art, because I was like, these characters are dope, and how people are drawing these things are so cool. That was something I actually really fell off of for a while, and also didn't come back to until maybe in my late 20s. And even then, it's still like I just doodle. It's not like I'm not doing portraits or anything like that. And
Okay.
yeah.
I asked it for an ulterior motive. Like, do you ever see a situation of putting the two together, like writing something and then painting or drawing something based on your writing?
I have never, that's funny, I've never thought about that.
Totally, man, totally.
Yeah, I could see that being something. I think I would have to figure out how it works, like in my brain, to collaborate it, because I guess I've kind of always kept whatever I've done artistically separate from the other artistic things I've done. And although it's under the same umbrella, it's like painting this thing has been inspired from this thing, and then writing this thing has been inspired from this thing, but it's not, I've never collaborated any of that, which has been interesting. So.
You should do it. You should do it.
Okay, see, putting ideas in my head
you
now.
should do it. What was the last piece you worked on?
The one I just did for the previous
Unplugged?
Yes, thank you, because apparently the words are escaping me now. But not the one that just happened, the very first one. Yeah.
On the friggin' snowy night?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God. And the fucking snow is not stopping. What the fuck? It's gonna snow again.
Hey, you know what? Listen, what I've come to understand, we live where we live. So it's like, I'm so used to it, because like it's such a East Coast thing to do, to be like, the weather. And it's like, hey, bro, you know what? We live in a place where it's unpredictable.
But really though, it was warm and it was getting better. And then it's like,
this time of year is nutty. And then honestly, it'll be rainy and foggy and gray for a while, and then all of a sudden it's going to be summertime again.
Anyway, okay. So
just
yeah,
make sure you stay inside and you're good. You gotta worry about it.
So your piece at that pop-up, it was a pop-up event, yeah. God damn it. I see you guys going up there like, oh man, it'd be nice. Actually, Dana wrote this, I think it was that one where she was like, I want to learn you. Do you remember? And like most of that poetry was questions, or like, I want to do this. How do you take care of this thing? So lazy me, I'm like, I just steal people's shit. So I took what she did. I actually asked her for the poem, and she sent it to me. And so I took it, and then I wrote like answers to those questions.
And then that was the poem.
So that's gonna be a poem. I think it's really cool, but I'm not brave enough to go out there and read the thing.
You should though. You're brave enough to stand here and mix music for people.
There's a layer though. There's like this.
You feel like a shield, like you feel like you're protected.
Like there's a laptop.
I get it.
All this shit.
I get it.
Versus me and Mike, nah.
I get it. You know what though? It once you crack through that, you'll be so happy you did, because it's like, and thank you so much, Sasha, for curating truly safe spaces for people to share their inner worlds, if you see this, girl. Because that is so helpful. I feel like even though I had shared pieces before with people, it was very like different environments that it wasn't like creative spaces I was sharing them in per se. So it was kind of like, okay, y'all want me to share this because it speaks to the same topic as this, but are you guys actually like feeling, hearing, receiving what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
Like,
yeah, like writing about the black girl thing in the corporate thing.
And it's like, it's like the workplace is like, cool, do this, do you want to do this thing? And it's like, cool. But like, this isn't really the space I want to be sharing. Like my innermost feels like that. And, I think for me, what is big, and I had a couple of people do it after that most recent unplug, was they had come up and were like, yo, your piece was good. And I like was sharing exchange of like how their art also made me feel as well. And I think that was what was missing out of those other spaces that I shared, is like, you know, I'm here to make people feel something, not just share words for the sake of taking up space with my breath in words. Like
No,
you know.
totally. I think the other reason for me is that I'm actually a very emotional person, and people don't know this. So, like, I would, I don't know if you've seen Hamilton, the play, but there's a song in the show. I mean, it's actually on Disney now, so you can see it. I didn't see the play in person. I also watched it on Disney. But there's a song in the show that almost every time I hear it, I tear, right? And so I'm afraid that when I'm reading this thing, I'm like, so blah blah blah, like, oh, fucking tears now. It's just an ego.
I was gonna say, because what's wrong with that?
I know
that adds impact to
I know.
the art.
I don't know. Maybe one day. But I think it's actually pretty dope. And I think I have to tell her, because her poem was very. I don't know the word for it. It's beautiful, first off, but also it was this whole thing. And I think my poem isn't true. I mean, obviously, there are elements of it that are true, right? But I think I was just like, I know how, situations where, like, the girl in the relationship is like, you're not doing this. And I know the guy side of it is like, well, this is the reason why I'm not doing it. So it's kind of that. So it's like there are pieces of me and the pieces I've heard from my friends or pieces I've watched from TV shows and like kind of put it all together. So it's like, I'm not defending that the guy is being
How he's being.
exactly, but
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe if you understood what this person has been through, you'll see why he's not telling you why he's drinking his coffee this way or
Yeah.
how his relationship was with his mom. Like, it's a powerful thing she was saying, but also, I think mine is pretty cool though. And also, the other thing about it for me is that you are telling me I don't even fucking have titles for my thing. I don't write anything if it doesn't have a title. Like,
And you see how everybody's processed the way they do their shit is just different.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it beautiful. It's like people ask me, and again, it's the immediate response to like, why don't you, that's crazy. Like, you write and like don't title stuff. And it's like, but if you get the gist of what I'm saying in the poem, you know what?
Yeah.
For me, whatever with the title, because
No,
at
but
the
I
end of
think
the-
for me, like, my thing is mostly like I write scripts, so it's kind of difficult to know. Like, I'm going to tell you, hey, come and be in my movie. I don't know what the title is yet, but so I think that's it. So, and that's kind of like bleeding into this thing because I knew I wanted to do this from the very first time I heard her say it, but I just didn't know what I was going to call it. But once I started, like, okay, if she sees this is what the answer, like, I'll answer this way. But then I had to now take all the answers and then kind of rearrange it. And then a line just came out. I was like, oh, this is what it's going to be called. And then I could go and start writing it.
And you had that moment. That moment that was like,
and I'm
there's
like,
the name.
okay. But you know what? I could actually stay behind my thing and just perform it. I don't need to go to the mic.
Look, literally, you could put on a soundtrack and then just say whatever, read the whole piece over the soundtrack in your safe space.
Anyway, yeah, we'll see. So what is the next thing you're going to work on?
I'm gonna see if I can try to get to the one that's at the end of the month.
Yeah, next Monday.
I would work on.
Yeah.
I would work on something for that. I think, like, again, it keeps me consistent in ways where I'm like, even if I don't feel like I don't have the most inspiration at that moment, that actually keeps me inspired on the side, because it's like, I would like to share a new piece if I can every time.
Yeah,
so.
I also like when she gave the prompts because that helped. That helped. One of the prompts I liked was the one was like ox in the car. Do you remember? I like that one because also that's an old person thing. Like,
Yeah, how many of you kids got oxes in your cars now? Yep. If you gave somebody the aux cord, you were trusting them. You were trusting them with like the vibes, like people's energy, the moods, everything.
Especially
Like,
if it's a long ass drive.
yeah. Your music better be good, bro. That's
okay.
it.
Okay. I usually let guests go with this question, and you might have mentioned it a little bit, but I'll still ask anyway. What's something that happened before you were 17 that plays a huge role in who you are today?
Thought on this, and I would say moving a lot as a small kid. Um, I've always felt like an oddball, and even though I am from here, I've never really felt like I've belonged here per se. And for me, that's really shaped my curiosity for getting to know people and their journeys, because I was always somewhere else for the most part until I moved with my father. And I was always having to learn people all the time, you know, like, okay, a new group of people and they're learning me. And so that's always kept my mind open to, again, like the human experience. Like, what is your journey? And you actually just spoke about it, like, in what you're saying about your response to her poem is like, you know, what are the things that have curated the way that somebody operates, moves through the world, the way they see things, their thinking, everything. So moving around is kind of forced in me to be like a chameleon and also just adapt. But again, like keep an open mind to experiences in life. And I think if a lot more of us did that, if a lot more of us held space for like love, the world would be, I know that sounds cheesy, y'all, but like the world would be a much better place because we're not like judging each other and saying, well, you aren't like this and you aren't like that. Well, to hell with how you think I should be. This is who I am. And do you care enough to see what I've been through to care for the person that I am, you know? So moving around has impacted me in a lot of ways that I think at first I curated to being like a negative experience because I was like, damn, I never really belonged anywhere, and that can feel like shit as a kid because you're always trying to like fit into a space. But I'm like, nah, I'm a pretty dope person for that experience happening. So, and other people love that about me too, and I'm like, okay, it's worked out in a way that I really appreciate. So
Yes, I agree. I agree. Cause like, and then, but one thing that happens is, doesn't it like, just when you feel like, oh, I might belong here, poop,
you're gone.
man.
And it's like in back in the Stone Ages, you guys, you were knocking on other kids' doors to like go play and hang out. And so when you moved from somewhere, you didn't really have a way to keep in touch with people, you know, it's like you're just gone. And with me, for the most part, I was still in the same like province, but it made the world of difference being like, you know, a couple hours out living somewhere than where you used to live, or even just within the city in different areas. Cause it's like, you're a child. How are you going to go see this person you were friends with? Unless the parents kept the relationship there, it's good luck. I may see you when we're older, but like, you know, we write you a letter or something. MSN came around and it was like, oh, yay. Keep in touch. MySpace, all of the things.
No, like I think the thing now where you can like actually, did you have to like text with, you know, ABC, you know?
You had to click it to get the right letter? Yes. And then it was like, all right, you know, I think we've developed like sensory things because of that. Because for me, getting used to an iPhone and not having a keyboard was the most bizarre thing. I was like, I can't tell that I'm typing properly. I don't like it. And yeah, it was very much an adjustment.
Okay. I can't let you go without like doing a tiny piece. Is you okay to read something? Okay, cool.
Definitely do that.
But before you do that, I'll let you go with a little bit of magic.
Magic?
Yes.
Oh, you do magic?
Just this one. Just this one.
All right, y'all. Man of many talents, just so y'all know.
Okay. So you're gonna write a number between 1 and 60.
1 and 60.
60. Do not show me the number. Once you're done, you can show it to any of the cameras, and then I'll use my magic cards to tell you what number is.
Okay.
Okay, I want to close my eyes. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. Y'all, if he gets this wrong, I'm just saying. All right. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
Okay. So your number is going to be on at least one of these cards, but there's a chance that it might be in more than one, okay?
Okay.
So I need your help. Is your number here?
Yes.
Yes. Is it here?
No.
No. Is it here?
Yes.
It's easy.
Oh, Lord, y'all. Okay.
30.
Goodbye, Israel. Goodbye. I was like, he's not going to get this. Okay. You know
All right,
what?
Shawntaya, thank you so much for sharing your amazing work and for coming to the podcast today. I'm going to clear out and then let you just, share one of your pieces, okay?
These days, I find myself grieving my mother. Not the woman in front of me, but the one I will never get to meet. The one who moves freely through this world and was loved enough to know love. See, you birthed her and raised her, then betrayed her. You let her slip through your fingers down into the abyss of no man's land where she became the victim of some man's hands. You washed away her identity until it looked like you, and even then it still wouldn't do. Straight hair, bright skin, taught her anything else wasn't her kin. Hate her, raped her, beat her black and blue, but what did that baby girl ever do to you? I've cried tears for my mother, but she'll never know. I couldn't look at my grandmother the same. She had no soul. You took six secrets 6 feet under and left my mother to wonder why she was never loved, never worthy of a hug, and why no one helped. But shit, if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have put you under them 6 feet myself. Now I'm left carrying the shards of a woman who cuts me, but she can't see. She knows she's cracked, but she doesn't know how deep. See, the thing about roots is that they are the beginning of the tree, and they hold history. For my mother is a branch, and I am the leaf. So much of our love has shown up as grief. And now I'm mourning a connection that may never come. I hope your sunken place is serving you well, Nanny. Look what you've done. Thank y'all.